Let's take a look here. It's telling me to rotate my device, so let me do that. Oh, okay. I have my smartphone here. So I started this project in August the 31st, 2021. And, you know, everybody knows who has a floor loom or has a portable loom like this one. This is a very portable loom. This is the stand, the bottom portion that you buy separately. And this is the tabletop loom that you buy separately. When I purchased this loom, it had levelers up here that you would, what they call the lift method, and you would lift them so you can pick up your shaft 1, shaft 2, shaft 3, shaft 4. So what I did is I purchased the threadle pedals that are down here, which is also an accessory and an option. So I purchased the stand, the threadles, and the table. And I purchased the table loom first. So it wasn't that I could afford the stand or the threadles at that time. But during that time, I saved my money and I bought the accessories. So again, I removed the levelers, which is called the lift plan. These are levelers, and you would lift them to lift up your shafts or the harnesses. So what I did was I took off the lift or the levelers and attached my textiles to the threadles. And I purchased a book. It's called Ann Dixon's. This is page 75, 76, 77. So I selected the M&W 12, 2212. And there's 180 warped threads that I warped on my warping board. I have my white, red, white, blue, white, red, and white. So in this portion, there's 20. Then there's 20 red, 40 in white, 20 in blue, 40 in white, 20 and 20. So let's see, that's 80, 120, 140, 160, 180. That's the total of the warp you see here. And again, I did start late because I had family visiting me. It was very exciting. I finally have time to do this. I also do other charity work as well. So that's been keeping me preoccupied. So I did not get a chance to get on my lovely loom. So I'll move it over so you can see it. And since this is my phone that I'm using to show you, I don't have very good lighting, so please accept my apology. When I did a lot of, how would I call it? I changed a lot of things here, and one of them is I added this shelf unit. This shelf unit was not part of the loom. I made this myself. I had some wood and I used my saw and I sawed this down and I screwed it on the back. And that's why I have a shelf unit you see up here. So I can put my accessories up here. My whatever I need up here is up here. This is a temple which holds this portion up here is a temple that I purchased from the same company that I purchased the this table loom, which I converted to a floor loom. And it all comes apart really simply for each easy storage. And that's what I love about it. Um, I'm very engineering and I love creating things to make things more simplified for me. I also purchased this light, and it's a light that I purchased from Amazon. And no, I don't have links to any of those particular items that I'm explaining to you because the wood was from old furniture that I just used my hand saw and I cut it. The lighting you can get at any, I'm sure any these type of lightings you can get them at any department stores or even fabric stores or any store that you go to like Ace Hardware or Walmart or Amazon or Kmart. These things are so available everywhere. And what I like about this light, has a dimmer, so I can dim it and turn it off, or bring up the light as powerful as I want. The temple here is a wonderful item to use while you're weaving because it keeps your weaving stretched out to the appropriate width. Now this is a little more than 22 inches wide. I made this out of myself from, I think they call Raffican or Raffican. It's a very really strong material. And there's inches, and I made my own tape measures so I can measure how long I want this. These are going to be placemats, and I want them 20 to 23 inches long. And again, I think it's, let's see, I know it's a little more than 20, 20, 23, 24, because my finger's about to end. So 23, 23 and a half. So I'll say 24, 25, 26, 27, 28, 29, 30. It's about 31 inches wide. And yes, I want this tape placemat to be very wide and very long because they can also be used as kitchen towels. This is going to be a gift for my brother. His birthday passed, and I wanted to make these for him. But again, I was so tied up with family visits, and he came over here, and I didn't want to just say, "Hey, let me start weaving while you're here." So, we had a wonderful time. Well, anyway, I have this is called a shuttle, and I also have boat shuttles because my plan is to save to buy a professional floor loom that has a different type of reed. This reed is upward reed. It's attached up, but the one I want is going to be below. I think they're called floor jack looms, and they're made totally different. So I'm saving up for that. I reconstructed this um, temple because when I was using it, it was always just popping up this little bar. And a lot of you know what a this temple weaving accessory is. Um, I don't know if yours is it just me or mine, but this one, if I loosen it up a little bit, it'll want to bounce. It wants to bounce right off and come off my project. So I added this little piece here, and now it's trying to do that right now. It's trying to bounce up, and I added this little piece of metal, and it keeps it from bouncing up, and it keeps my project hot. So I'm not using my boat shuttle because I keep dropping it on the ground, because I don't have a fly shuttle. That's my goal is to buy a fly shuttle, floor jack loom, so I can just get the string and just, and most of your weavers know what that is. So this is just a shuttle that you have to wrap in a figure 8. And I am using blue and white. So I have 2 shuttles ready. And let's see, what else am I going to say? It's almost time for the blue. Let's see. Oh, in fact, it is. I'm at 14. So right here, I'm at 14. I'm going to trim the yarn here, and I'm going to do around 2 rows, 2 inches of blue, and then I'll add the white again. So that's where I'm at right now. So I'm going to remove the white thread, and I am going to make it a little long. So, and I like the pattern of the M and W, because if you look at the way this is, it's actually an M and a W. Now, everybody has their own way of writing their own directions, but this is the way I write mine. I have a program called Temple, no, it's Lofty Fibers, and it's a beta program. It costs less than $1 every 6 months, and they're constantly upgrading it. And I can use their little program that they have. It's offered to you, and then I just print it out, just the portion that you see here. And most people write their notes on which leveler, lift plan, or threadle method they're using. For me, it's more easier if I have them in rows. And because in Ann Dixon's book, you always start your project from the bottom up, and then you make a U-turn and you start again from the bottom up. Well, that's the way she has it, and that's the way I do it. So again, I have mine in rows, and instead of me looking at my feet, because obviously if you look at the row, this is 1 and 4. So I just say 22, and then I look over here, and that's where I place my foot. Both my feet on 1 and 4. And then I go 21, and my foot is placed on threadle 3 and 4, and 20 and 1. 20 is threadle 2, 3. Row 19 is threadle 1 and 2. Row 18 is 2 and 3, and so forth and so on. And any mistakes I made along the way, I corrected them. So if you see these little markings here, it's because I corrected them. And I didn't want to waste another piece of paper, so that's how I did that. So I attach it here with just some masking tape and a piece of paper, and I can see what I'm doing. So when I finish a complete set of 22 rows, I will mark a little mark like you see up here. And as you can see, I've already finished 20 sets, 5, 10, 15, 20 sets. And each set is 22 rows. So 22 rows times 5 is 100 and something. So it'll be 2, 4, 6, 8, 10. That's 100 plus the 2 extra. So you figure 2, 4, 6, 8. There's a lot of them here. That's a lot. That's a lot of rows. That's 100, 200, 340, 10, 20, 30, 40. That's 400 and 2, 4, 6, 8. So 408 rows that I've completed in 14 inches. That's a lot of rows. And because it's such a complicated pattern, you have to keep your eye constantly on what you're doing in your feet. And I take my time. I don't ever rush, as you can see. So I'm starting right back at the beginning because I've already finished a set. So I write down when I finish a set or wherever I'm writing, I'll play. If I have to answer the phone and I stopped at, I'm going to start at 16, I will put R16. That would be row 16. So when I come back, I know where I'm my next, where I'm going to start next. So I'm at R22, which is row 22, and that would be 1 and 4. So I've got my feet on 1 and 4. So I'm lifting my shafts, and I'm just gonna put my thread. This is carpet wart thread. I believe it's 4-2 that I purchased from a company. And now I'm gonna get my blue, and I'm gonna make 2 inches of blue. So I'm gonna insert my shuttle through, place my other shuttle on my desk, the top portion of that. And I'm going to leave a little tail here. I'm going to anchor that at a diagonal. So the next row would be 21, and my foot will go on 3 and 4, or threadle 3 and 4. I'm at 3 and 4, so now I'm going to take that tail in of that thread and just kind of put that in there, and that is called beating the reed. So that's what I'm doing. Now I'm still at 3 and 4, and I'm going to go under 1 because I have floating salvages, and I'm going to go under, through, and again under at the other salvage end. I have floating salvages. On this end, I'm just kind of holding it. I'm not pulling it or anything. I just kind of let it just kind of hold it there. You're not going to pull it, because if you do, look what happens. You don't want that. And that is the purpose of having the temple weave. That's what it's called, to help you keep your edges nice and neat. So I got it at a 45-degree angle. I'm going to leave it right there. And I noticed that my next row would be row 20. So my feet are going to go on 2 and 3. Right now, I'm doing it right now. I'm going to beat that down. And my feet are still on 2 and 3 because I have to start at row 2 and 3. So I'm gonna see where's my thread, and I'm gonna insert at the floating salvage and go through the salvage, floating salvage, and go under the floating salvage. And we'll look at row 19. Row 19 is 1, 2. So my feet are going to go on threadle 1, 2. That lifts up the harness or shafts 1 and 2. I'm going to beat that down. My thread is over here. Now I go on top of the thread, and I'm going over through the shed of the weave. That's what that's called, the open shed. Where you see my hand is, that's an open shed. Again, a 45-degree angle. I'm not pulling at my thread, just 45-degree angle. I'm at row 19. My feet are on threadle 1, 2. The next row would be 18, and my foot will go on row shafts or threadle 2 and 3, which will lift the shafts 2 and 3. I can now let go of my thread, beat it down, and every once in a while my thread gets stuck over here. Hold on. Okay, I get stuck back there sometimes. So my feet are on still 2 and 3. That's row 18. The next row would be 17. So my feet will go on 3 and 4, which will lift shafts 3 and 4. And let's see, 2 and 3. Let's see. Actually, I'm doing row 18. I apologize. That's 2 and 3. That would be my next row. So I haven't quite reached row 17 yet. I'm ahead of myself. So putting my blue thread through. Again at a 45-degree angle. Now my feet will go on 3 and 4 because that is row 17. Because this is the next row that I'm doing. Now I can put my my shuttle through row 17. Again, I align my thread. I'm not pulling it. I'm on row 16, which would be 2 and 3. We got a good beat. 2 and 3. And my thread goes under the floating salvage. And give that a 45-degree angle. My row 15 is shaft 1 and 2 or threadle 1 and 2. Beat that down. I'm gonna insert my shuttle, and that's basically what I'm gonna do. I'm already on row 14. 2, 3. And again, I've gotta go through my floating salvage, bring my thread through, and do that same process. 14 will now I'm going to go to row 13, which would be 3, 4. 3, 4, go under my floating salvage, insert my shuttle, again, go under the floating salvage. My feet are still on 3 and 4, that's row 13. Now I'm on row 12. I'm going to automatically place my, let's see, here's when you make a mistake and you got to go back out. Okay, let me get back out. That is not 3 and 4. No, that's 3 and 4. That's correct. Okay. Row 12 is 1, 4. So I am all good. Okay. Go under my floating salvage. Around. The 12 is 1 and 4. And again, 45-degree angle. Row 11 is 1 and 2. Give that a little beat. Go under my floating salvage. Do the same thing on the other end. Okay. And 45-degree angle. Row 10 is 2 and 3. Shafts 2 and 3. So threadle 2 and 3. So go over my salvage thread. And pay attention to where I'm going. And under my salvage thread. Floating salvage. And now I'm on row 9 would be 3 and 4. So I'm going to immediately put my feet on 3 and 4. And basically that's what it's all about. Okay. That's 9, and now it's 8. 8 is 1 and 4. Giving it a good beat. And I'm going over. And now 7 is 3 and 4. Okay. Okay, 7 is 3, 4, and row 6 is 2, 3. That is done. 5 is 3, 4. Slash 3 and 4. Row 4 is 1 and 4. 1 and 4. Row 3 is 3 and 4. Good. That goes over. 3 and 4. I've got a 45-degree angle. Now I'm at 2, 3, which is row 2 and 3. Row 2, I mean, which would be 2 and 3. And in order for me to get the pattern, I have to do what you see me doing. And to get a nice edge. And now I'm on the last row, which is row 1, and that'll be 1 and 2. Oh, the last set. It's actually not, it's the last row, but it's the last set. And that's 1 and 2. And you could barely see the pattern, but it's getting there. You see that? There's the pattern of the M and W, which is actually going this way if you were to look at it that way. Okay, so since I finished a set, I get my pen and I'm starting a new set. Okay, so I make a little teeny mark. Here's my new set. So if I've already completed 5, 10, 15, 20, and will start at row 22. And that's how you create this beautiful pattern. And as you can see, I need to make, I've almost gotten about a 3/4 of an inch done. So I'm gonna make that hole. I believe it's just an inch. I was wrong. I thought it needed 2 inches. Actually, it's an inch because I could see it from down here. I didn't make a very big one. Yes, it's actually an inch. I could see the other one underneath. So that's probably about, if this is 22 rows, that's probably less than that. It's probably 10. So I have to keep an eye on that. And this is how I keep an eye on it. I have a clip that I use, and that clip comes off. Okay, hold on. I've got it under here. I forgot to remove it. Okay. And it's actually rolled up my tape in there, the measuring tape. So I'm going to put that back. Find my clip. Every once in a while it pops off. But that doesn't mean I can't pop it back in. Let's take a look. Okay, so it's popped back in. And so I can keep an eye on where I'm at. I'm gonna clip that there. So I need probably exactly 22 more rows. So if you are watching, I want to thank you. I appreciate it. It's really late at night, but I'm a night owl, so I'm always doing things, and then I wake up real early in the morning. So thank you very much for joining me. This is so fabulous. Um, that's my trademark name. You can also watch all the different videos and playlists I have. I have different playlists, so many, because I love watching people. I love learning by you. I want to thank most of you that have helped me along my journey to all the wonderful projects that I do. And I also do charity work. So that's just where my heart is at. And Tilly says good night because she's right there. She keeps an eye on Mama, right, Tilly? You little baby. Yes. Say good night, everybody. You're going back to Mimi. Her closing her eyes is acknowledging you all. God bless you and good night. Okay, if I can figure out how to turn this off. Oh, I don't know how to. Okay. This is all new to me. Okay. Oh, okay. Yes, I want to finish. Thank you.